Hey, Frogman. I have a went to the bank, and when they gave me the halves, they some reason took them out of the box. So they gave them to me in a doubled up Walmart bag. So figure I'll just open them up. I thought they were new at first, but as I started pulling them out, I could see that there was circulated ones. So anyway, hello, Frogman, VMC, Jim Thompson. So I just figured I'd open up the halves and just do it live and see what we find and just make a kind of a quick hunt. Not expecting much, but you never know. I did see a couple NIFC enders, so we will see what we get. I was about to stream, and then I saw Copper Owl was still on, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait. So popped in and watched for a little bit. A few silvers found, it looked like. 2008 Nifty. Did I get your letter? I guess not. Last thing I got was a thing for my new insurance for prescriptions and that sort of thing, so if it's in the mail, I probably haven't got it yet. Hey, Kathy Keith. Set the 74 off to the side to search. So just 50 rolls, and figured I'd just open them and see what we find. 2020. I started my new on-call schedule thing, and it was a little bit different. It was nice not having to work. Technically, I'd still be on if it was a regular time. We've got a 8 something, 3 infinity. Yeah, but so yeah, it was kind of nice that didn't have to work the whole time and just during the night. A little tired because I was up all night on Friday night. I was there from midnight until almost 6 a.m. And then last night I was called in a couple times, and then they called me at like 4:30 in the morning and said we have a CPR in progress. So I was like, gotcha. Zoomed down there, and just threw my clothes on, went zooming down, and yeah, you're welcome, Jimmy. And we were there for about 45 minutes. The ambulance was still on scene, and they ended up finally calling it in the field. So we put stuff away and went back home. So I'm a little tired. Not too bad though. Hopefully that just means I'll sleep good tonight, since I didn't get any sleep last night. I just couldn't sleep. They had called me, and I had answered, and it would immediately hang up. And they'd call right back like half a second later. I'd answer and it'd hang up. So they texted me and said, yeah, I do. We get on-call wage, so if you're on call and you're not like called in, you get on a weekend it's 15% of your normal wage per hour. So like on Friday night I was on for 7 hours, so I'd got 15% each hour for those 7 hours. And then if you're called in, you get a triple premium per shift. So if you get called at least once per shift, you get a 3 hours worth of time, plus everything you work is time and a half. So 2018. So I do. They would call me and kept hanging up, so they texted me and said, we have a ER. I was like, okay. So I went down and don't know why it was doing that, but when we had that CPR, I was sitting there and I got a text and it said, we have a CPR in progress, we need you. I was like, what? So I text back, okay. And they just were saying they texted that 2018, that it was just going, not even dialing, it was just hanging up as soon as they would dial. So I'm like, that's weird. So when I got there and we were waiting for the ambulance, I redialed from the phone they called and went straight to, a regular phone call. They're like, that's so weird, we tried like 5 times. I'm like, I don't know. So whenever I hear that, hey, Brian Robinson, Michael Martin, whenever I see these, they always make a different sound. I don't know if it's acid or what it is, but it always has like a kind of a different look, and they sound different. But it's because of the acid or whatever they used on it. So when I'm doing that, I'm like, did I miss one? And then I'm like, oh, it was that acid looking one. There's one box I probably had a dozen of them. So it probably won't be a long stream, but I just want to get them back in the bank because I don't need them sitting around. 2018. My boxes of nickels that I had sent out, I have not found any 2026. I don't usually find the current year, 2013, until about June or July before I start seeing any. Doesn't matter if it's pennies, nickels, dimes, whatever. And so I probably won't see any of those until probably June or July. Nope, we didn't get any snow or anything so far. 2014. It was my son and his grandpa went camping with the boys from church, the whole town basically. And they went out and camped and shotguns, and they had gotten a snow that night, which was Friday night, but it didn't come into town. So the streets were slightly, like maybe a small spattering of rain or something. Yeah, I never find Philadelphias unless they're like old, like, you know, nickels or whatever. But, you know, they were from years ago. But to find any newer ones, I won't see them until ever. It's like they just don't make them out here. So yeah. And like I said, I'm not expecting much because I don't usually find much silver, but I did end the year doubling my silver in the last half. I went from 0.4 to 0.8 in the last 6 months, which was nice. But it's one of those that I don't know how I find all the nifsies and not the silver. It is what it is. Because my average is 18 nifsies a box. I know last year it was kind of hard for a lot of people. They didn't hit an average of 1 per box either. Hey, coin hunts, not bad. Just opened a box of $50. The bank gave it to me loose. So they said, we got box, and I said, okay. So they brought out a double bagged Walmart and had these just loose in there. So I was like, okay. So I took them, figured I'd open them. There was quite a few newer looking ones, so I'm not assuming I'm going to get any silver, but it's a hunt. Just over 1, yeah. This is my personal averages. So I opened 61 boxes of halves because I had 17 of 2024s and 6 of 25s that I did not count. And I usually get, depending on the week, sometimes 2 every other week, sometimes 4 every other week. Sometimes the other bank gets 1. You never know. But, I mean, 49 silvers out of 61 is still not bad, but you can see my nifty. It is nifty. A nifty average ended at 17.7, but basically it just rounds to 18. My miscellaneous silver was a proof commemorative. It was an 82, I think it was, the 250th Washington anniversary birthday or something. And I'd open, I'm like, oh, it's silver. And I looked, I'm like, that's not silver. So I thought it was a foreign. And then I was looking, I'm like, that's not a foreign, that's a US coin. So I started looking at it closer, and I noticed it was a commemorative. I'm like, oh, I've never found a silver commemorative in a box. I found commemoratives, I found silver commemorative, or silver, but I've never found silver commemorative. So it's one of those, I'm hoping this kind of helps me relax a bit and then hopefully go to sleep, and since I didn't sleep much. Unfortunately, my Broncos lost. At least I assume they lost because it was the last like minute and 50 seconds or something. They got the first down, and then they were just doing the kneel, run the time off. So unless they came back and somehow got the ball in those last 40 seconds. But it's one of those things that, after being what they were 2 years ago, being basically third place not bad. But when you get the Waltons with all their money, you can do quite a bit, a lot faster than some of the smaller teams. My hours, I'm assuming after Thursday's stream, once it updates the next week, I should be at the level to be able to do memberships. Because right now I'm at 2875 or something, so I only need like another 150 hours. But then it takes, like I said, a week. And then however long it takes them to say okay or whatever they do. So 2018. So we'll see. I'm gonna kind of figure out the levels and stuff I want to do. 2020. Hey, Resin. Thanks. It's one of those things that doing recap videos doesn't really get you many hours, and so when I started doing that in September, I was only at 400 hours. And since September, I have got it up. The first bit, of course, was slower because you got to build more, people to come into your streams and everything. And so I was 2010. Only at like 400 or so, but I was expecting about 3 more months at the rate I was going. And then I'm like, well, it'll be sooner. It'll be probably 6 weeks. And then yesterday I looked and I was like, holy crap, I'm only like 150 away. But I've been getting around 100 or 150 hours a stream. So when I get the memberships, I'll do a 5-ounce copper round, give it away. So I'll, of course, probably put the membership levels into effect and then do a notice video. I think this week we've got Monday and Thursday, I believe, are William E. And then I think it's BH after that, and then is it BMC? And then the other 2 just got filled. That was, I think, 74 deeds. So I think I'm all the way out until middle of February. Hopefully I have enough boxes. I have 6 boxes, and that's as many as I've got on the calendar. Neither, or my bank, I asked them if they had any, they said no. Did I get your payment? Not since the one that you did for 45. Or 40, I mean. That was the last one I've gotten. It usually takes... Hey, nice. Nice shiny red leafy. The mail has been absolutely crazy here. I'd sent my 2 boxes of nickels that I sold and put them in a priority flat rate box and took it down, dropped it off at 9 o'clock on Monday the 15th. I emailed the lady and said, just so you know, my office is rural and they won't usually scan it, and the first time it'll get scanned is in Vegas, and then it'll say that it was scanned about an hour before that. So I don't know what they do in those 2 days in between, but nothing pops up. She hasn't said anything about it, and it's still in transit. I checked, and it was supposed to be delivered on the 19th, and then it was now went to the 20. I think it was 21st, arriving late. Now it doesn't even have a delivery estimate. It just says in transit, arriving late. So we'll see. Letters don't take as much sending them out, but getting them in takes a lot longer. Because I can send them out, and I think you guys usually get them by the end of the week. Like if I send them out on a Monday. Yeah. It shows I made the label at 6 p.m. or 6:38 or something on... Hey, Lyle, welcome. On the 14th, and I emailed her that night and said, I'm dropping it off in the morning. They open at 9. And it didn't get scanned until Vegas, of course. And then that I dropped it off on the 15th. Vegas didn't scan it until the 19th. So I don't know if it was sitting in our office here for 3 days or what was going on, but Vegas didn't scan it for... Usually it's like about 2 days and it'll pop up, and they didn't get it. And it shows the first scan was the 19th, and when Kanab accepted it. And it's like, well, it's pretty much impossible to go from Kanab to Vegas in an hour. Even if you count the time difference, you're not going to make it in Vegas in 2 hours, because it's a 3.5 hour drive. And if you got to put them on a big semi and send them out, you are not going to be going 150 miles an hour. If they are, that's a problem. So I know that, like when Pa would send things out after like a stream on a Saturday, he'd, send them out on a Monday. And by the next stream, people were saying, hey, I got my package on that, Friday or Saturday. Lambo Express. And mine usually wouldn't arrive until the next Monday. So it'd be nice if they ever change it, but I highly doubt it. And I made sure everything was good with the package, because the day before I went down and I said, I'm sending a flat rate medium box. It's going to weigh approximately 45 pounds. Is there anything special I need to do? And she was like, do you have heavy stickers 2018? And I said, no. And so she ripped off 6 of them, gave them to me, and said, put one on each side. So I did. When I took it down and put it on the counter, and she goes, okay, I'll have one of the guys take it back. She goes, I'm not lifting it. So maybe someone took it back, used it as a stepping stool or something, who knows. So that's the only bad thing, is eBay doesn't pay you until it's delivered. Most likely that's true. I think if it's ever a kind of a smaller type package, like the regular ones like I send in my bubble mailers, those aren't usually too big of a deal. But if I'm sending a heavy package, I may have to try UPS. It's not too much more expensive usually. Problem is to send UPS, there's a drop-off box for small ones that you can put in that little slot. If it's big, you have to take it down to the airport, 2018, and give it to them when they're exchanging packages from when they bring everything over and load them onto different delivery trucks. Sports agreement, meanwhile. That must have been in someone's book. You can see the tape line there and there. It's nothing special, it's just a D. Not great shape either. Just regular. So if I have another heavy one, I might have to do that and go meet the truck at the airport. Because we do not have a UPS or FedEx in town. 2016. Hey, sounds good, Billy. Thanks. I'll always take that like and stop in. But family is obviously much more important for having movie night. 2018. Oops. I've been looking for some more coppered rounds because my one, I had the 2 boxes and I condensed them into one. So I did order some more. We'll see what we get. But most of them are wanting like $3.50 or so. Nothing so far. So I was able to find some from a guy I had bought from before, a business. And I was able to get them for just under $3 each. So when I cost average it, once I get them, and I cost average, nothing yet. Money coins. I was going to say money. So dollar cost average, it'll go up. It'll be about not quite 50 cents. So I'll just do the 50 cents. And I'm getting a little low. 2019. 2010. So at least it's not too much. I've been, like I said, trying to find them. Most people want $80 for a roll of 20 of the same kind. They want like 300 for 100 of them, and that's if you're able to find them. And not a problem, AG. I'm just opening a box, and that'll probably be it. Maybe a box of dimes after this, but thanks for stopping in. Sounds good, Resin. Thanks for stopping by. 2018. Hey, Devonzo. I think you were in there the other night, I think, if I remember right. Don't know if Coin Hunts is still here or not, but you now have some extra points to gamble. Looks like we might hit a 25 like tonight for an unannounced last minute stream. It wasn't last minute, it was, I waited until Copper Owl was done, and I knew he was streaming, and I saw him, and looked like the last time I was in there it was, I think, 390s and 640s or something. I know that if I do miss a silver, the coin machine kicks them out at me, so I've never missed one yet. Last time I did that Saturday stream when my kids were here and opened that box of quarters after the halves. That's when I finally found 2011, my first silver quarter ever. I mean, I haven't hunted thousands of boxes, but my dimes, I used to find about a half a silver per box average and 1 foreign per box. And last year, my dimes ended at, out of 15 boxes, a total of 2 silver dimes and 1 foreign. That was it. No other miscellaneous, no anything else. So I figure I might open a box of dimes after this, and just to get them back in the bank, because like I said, they're sitting there and I'm not going to be finding anything in them, so I do have a stack down here to go through after this box is done to check for DDOs. There are a couple rolls that were kind of smashed a little bit, but like I said, they were thrown into a Walmart bag. I was like, okay, I would have gone out and gotten one of my canvas bags, but it was full because I go to my bank because they close at 5, and then I go to my credit union because they close at 6. So after the bank, I go down and then I drop or dump all my coin and then pick up anything that they've ordered. I told my bank again, I would love if you can get 4 a week or 4 a delivery, and Same with halves, like you were doing. So we'll see if they actually do it. They've been able to get me 2, which I'll take. But luckily my credit union has been able to get me some. So last week I didn't even get the full order. I didn't even get 2 from anybody. I got 1. So I have enough for this next 3 weeks. So the ones that have set ones up, which is, like I said, I think 2 are William E. And then I think we have a BH, VMC, and then 2 for 74 deeds. And those are the ones that I'm able to fulfill at the moment. But if they can start getting me 4, I want to get kind of stockpiled, because I would like to open some nickels sometimes, but I don't open nickels for me, because number one, I need them for you guys. And if I have a huge stockpile, then I can start opening them for me again, because I like nickels. I found many no FGs for a while. I had one box where I pulled a 72 no FG and an 82 no, 2 82 no FGs. I finally found a DDO not too long ago. I think it was last time I did halves, or maybe the time before that. I think time before that. It's pretty easy to update a spreadsheet when all you have to do is enter NIFC. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's one of those that the bank and the credit union both, like I say, get deliveries and stuff on the same day from the same company, and it's Loomis. So, and I've tried the other bank, but they won't even give me the time of day. And I've told them that I'm not going to dump coins there. I said, I don't dump them at your bank if you get them. And manager still won't talk to me, so I don't know if they get pennies, but businesses in town are still giving pennies as change. It'll probably be the same sort of thing as the pandemic, where you won't be able to get them, and then in like 6 months they'll realize there's still billions of them coming in and start doing them again. Because I know other channels get them. You know, they're getting a box or 2 boxes or whatever. So I'm not expecting any time soon. If I find a silver, I'll give an extra giveaway. Which, now that I've said that, I'll probably pull a silver. Which is great for me. I'd like to find an entire box of silver. How about that? I'm going to try my bank again this week, yeah. When they ask, what do you want us to order? And I said, I usually take, and I've been telling them, I said, I would take 4 boxes of nickels every delivery. And if you can get me 4 boxes of halves, again, I would love that, but I'll take any that you get. And I said, I know you don't have any or can't get any, but if you get pennies, I said, I will definitely take them. And they laughed and they said, good luck. I said, I know. Maybe I'll have some of that. Oh, 25 likes? Sweet. I wasn't even paying attention to that part. Let's get to that one. Exclamation GAW. But maybe I'll come across someone that has a pallet of them in their basement or something. Give them an extra $5 or whatever per box, and or some storage unit, or one of those things that you always see that happens once in a while, and it's like, man. Hey, Mike Schleiz, welcome. If I haven't said, 2018. If I haven't said welcome, it's because I'm not really looking up too much. Last roll of halves. Got 25 like going on. Exclamation GAW if you've come in. Like I said, I knew I wasn't expecting much because I saw a bunch of new ones, 23s, 4s, and 5s. And that's what quite a few of them were. Must still be zoomed in from when I did nickels. Do 74s, I do 73s last because otherwise I try to look at them as 74s and then I go, that's not a 74. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to resume it until I'm done at least with this part. When I was pulling it away, it looked like maybe that 4 had a notch in it, but I think it was just the way the shadow was. I don't have a drink tonight. I technically have one that's still open from when I was watching the Broncos, which is Pepsi Zero Cherry, which only had one swig left. Hey, Vincent. Cold lager's open. When I did drink, I always, you know, when you're a little wilder, when you're younger, I was always more of a hard drink. My go-tos were either double gin and tonic or dirty martini or Bloody Mary double vodka. I haven't drank any of that in years. Since I've been divorced for 6.5, I was married for 6.5. That's 13. And I hadn't drank for years before that, so. I never did like wine, but I was never a beer drinker much because it just didn't really do much. And you guys know that with my sleeping pills and stuff, my body just metabolizes those type of things weird. Sleeping pills, narcotic, drug, stuff like that they give you, like after a surgery. When I had my neck fused, my surgeon had said, what are you taking? I said, well, I've been taking Oxy, but that's not doing a thing. I said, I'm taking 15 of Oxy, and it barely does anything. He goes, have you tried Aleve? And I said, no. He goes, try that. And that actually relieved a lot of the symptoms. Not relieved them, but dulled them enough to be livable. So I've always had high tolerances for pretty much all kinds of stuff. Like I said, I can drink 4 cans of energy drink on a weekend that I was up basically the entire weekend in the ER. 300 milligrams each. And I don't get jittery, I don't get the palpitations, I don't get anything like that. Hi, Garrett. Got a giveaway going on at 25 likes, so if you want to get in, it's exclamation GAW. You got a few seconds left until I switch this back over, because I'm done with those. I got 19 NIFCs. I gotta write this down so I remember to put it in my spreadsheet. And I figure we'll do that since I want to get those back in the bank too. Hey, Renee, me. Exclamation GAW if you want to get in. See, this one has a stamp from July 30th, and I picked them up in December. So I don't know where they sat for 5 months, but... Looks like we got 15 people in. The winner, Mark. Congratulations. I think you've won before. Pretty much all the same ones that I've had. Like I said, I can email that sheet to you, but there's only 3, I think, on there that aren't in my box anymore. I got an email from Gatita, and she said, I received a jackalope round. I don't remember picking it. I'm like, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, yeah, you didn't pick the jackalope round. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh, I know what happened. When I was cutting and pasting names and stuff back and forth between emails, I accidentally grabbed hers instead of Crafty's. Ooh. So I emailed Crafty and said, I apologize. You've probably been waiting for it for a week. I said, I will get it sent out. It's the only time I've done that. I'm just edge searching dimes. I don't have patience to look at each one. Hey, Lyle. I don't have down what each person has chosen, but I have what date and what they won, you know. Yeah, there could be, but when I did go through dimes one by one, it was like, I can't do this. Pennies are bad enough looking for the dates. Dimes are even worse. So when I go to the bank on Monday, I'm going to have a box of halves. That's 500. Well, minus 1950 for the NIFCs I pulled out to go through. I'm going to see if any of them upgrade mine or add a couple that I'm looking for, because I started making them for my kids. And then I've got AG wanting some, so I told him I would go through and basically start building a set. I think I've hunted. This is my second box of dimes this year, I think. So with last year's of 15, and it was 14 straight. This will make 15, and this will be box 16 if there's no silver. I would love to find a merc. I've never found a merc in a dime roll. once in a while I see an edge that's a little bit thicker and shinier, and I check them, but it's never ever been anything. But it's funny because I haven't even found foreigns, and I usually would find a foreign per box. So it's like, Oh, I've got to. Now it'll be 490, 50 because that one bounced out. It'll have, hey BH. So you were streaming earlier, but I was in church, so I didn't watch it. I did go back and watch it after I got home. I bet you this one gets spit out by the machine. I'll try to put it through. I have a baggie that I've been putting all of them, because I'll try to put them in, you know, as soon as they get kicked out, I try to put them in, and sometimes they go through the second time, or third, or fourth, or 12th, or, you know, until I'm actually done with my coins. But I do have a baggie of ones that kept rejecting that whole time. Don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe do an auction, do a fun thing, you know, start it for a penny or something and see who wants it. Nope, no halves. Except for 19 FCs. So about on par with my average. I'm just edge searching some dimes, and see there's another one of those chewed up ones. This one's not as bad, but it's nice that if I drop a coin, I can use my feet to pick them up. This is probably going to be like a 2015. Yep. Nope. Yep. I was going to say those ones that are a little bit thicker and shinier, I find tend to be 2015s a lot of time. I'll still get dimes when they offer them to me and keep searching them, but I guess right now, considering a dime is worth what, $8 or something? No, it doesn't seem right. Is it 8? However much a dime's worth. I know nickels are like $6 now, so a dime must be about 8. Hey, Captain Vic. $7.74. That was close. I know nickels are like $5.84 the last time I looked or something. That's why I was thinking, if nickels are almost $6, I know dimes are worth more. So that's why I was thinking they would $8, but it's even copper's gone up, because last time I saw copper was over $5 a pound. And I found that because I cannot find copper rounds, because like I said, I've condensed it down to one box, besides the ones that are in tubes that are duplicates of like the ones on my sheet. That's what I got left. So I tried to find more good deals on them, but the cheapest I've been able to find are just under $3, about $2.75 if you get like 100 of them, which I did. You need a jackalope one. I think I have one or two of those left. But it's like, I need some more, so I did buy some. Yeah. I think they had sent me an offer. It was like, after taxes, it was like basically $2.80 or something for 100 of them. Yeah, me too, Jersey Silver. Last year my dimes were abysmal. Those came out of the first 2 boxes. The last 13 of the year had absolutely nothing. 2 this year so far have had absolutely nothing. I used to average a half a silver per box and a 1 foreign per box. And now I'm averaging 0.1 and 0.2. And actually less now, but... So I did pick up 5 more tubes. Like I said, the cheapest I can find them are just under 3 with taxes and everything. Yeah, I don't know how he's getting all of them, but I saw that. It's like same. I just figure it's the same thing with like my halves. I don't find as much silver, but wow. Like my half dollars, I don't average that high. I was lucky to bring my average up to 0.8 last year. And because at the first half of the year, up until June, July area, I was only averaging 0.4 silvers a box. Oh, you're good, AG. Nothing so far, nothing except for 19 Nifsies in my first box. I still got to go through them and see what I can pull out for you and everything, but I'll get to it one of these days. Nothing in my dimes. But yeah, I went from being a 0.4 and I think it was July. And in the last half of the year, I doubled it to 0.8. Which I was glad to do, because looking back on it now, half is what? 40% is $15 and a 90% is 25 or something? No, 35? Trying to do calculations in my head while I'm looking at coins. That's what's helped me go to sleep the last couple nights, is because they've changed the hours of call, because they hired a guy to do only Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So he works a 14-hour shift those 2 days. And so I only work midnight to 7 on Friday night, and let me guess, a 2015? Yep, 2015. I can spot those a mile away, it seems like. I think just gross. Yeah, 1986. So I was calculating, like, okay, I don't have 28 hours during the day part, and so I'm going to have a third of my callback hours that I used to do, of total hours. But in those 2/3, I made 3/4 of what I made in call. So that 1/3 is going to give me 106. I saw it was like 104 or 5 earlier today. I think when I was in Copper Owl's channel, I saw someone post that. But that's what I was figuring up. Okay, I'm going to have approximately a third of what I worked before, but it was all at night, and the majority of call comes like during the day. You know, I'd work 25 hours of call, and like 18 of it would be during the day. So that's what I did last night for calculations in my head. Supposedly they're getting closer to moving us, because I guess the other day they had the lab manager in there looking at the business office to try to see where they need to move machines when they bust it down, because they're expanding X-ray into lab, and then lab is going to move over to halfway where the business office was. So the business office, most of the billers are going to go to the conference room, and they're going to start doing the conference room stuff down at the ambulance barn. And HIM will be over there, so all that stuff. But me and the finance manager are going to be moved supposedly down to the ambulance barn. So supposedly when they move me down there, because that'll be like in March, it sounds like, the CFO is saying that he expects to have me work with the finance manager for at least a year to get, you know, comfortable with all the stuff he does. So when they move me down there and I start helping him more, which I've been struggling to do all of my AP stuff plus taking on some of his stuff. So if they hire a new person to take over the AP, that's when they'll move me up. And then about a year later when he retires, I'll take his position. So supposedly, the last thing I've heard is they're expecting, someone said it was going to be February, and I said, nah, I don't think so. But the ones that I would think have more knowledge of it, the admin, I've heard them talking, it'll be towards the end of March. So we'll see. some of you new ones may not know, but I had gone in and told them it has felt like I've had a carrot dangled in front of me for the last year and a half. And I said, it's getting really tiring of hearing stuff, and nothing ever happens. I said, a year and a half I've had this carrot dangled in front of me. And I said, I'm telling you straight up right now, if someone comes and offers me double what I'm making, because then I wouldn't have to do call, even if I had to drive to St. George every day, I said I would be gone. And I'm just giving you a heads up. I said I'm not actively looking, but I've had companies and stuff contact me, but they don't want to, of course, pay me enough to make it worth my while. So he goes, I understand. He goes, you have to do what's best for you, and I would have no problem giving you reference and stuff. 2 more rolls. But I said it's like been, crying wolf a bunch and nothing ever happens. And so unless I have something more concrete, I'm not holding my breath. Last thing of dimes, if I find a silver, I will give away an extra, oops, threw that in the coin bucket, round, and there's not. Some of those edges look kind of weird, I'm sure, like in person. $40, yeah, I was thinking it was like 35, because a half is, 40% is almost, what, $18 or something? Well, that's it for now. I have a habit of doing a 0 with the slash through it. It's from when I did ROTC. We had to do the phonetic alphabet, and I can do that with no problem. So it's one of those that I've gotten to where I just kind of, most of the time, stick a slash through it. Not all the time, just some of the time. Ended up being a little bit longer stream than I thought, because I opened the box of dimes, but we'll do this EOS, and then, oh, I had sat that down when I moved it. I had sat the Trump round down on top, and I'm like, I don't think he told me he wanted that. So while we're doing that, I'll go through some of these ones that I have. Colorized Eagle. Colorized Don't Tread on Me with an eagle on the back. I have one colorized Bitcoin left. I have lots of non-colorized. I have a couple Fear the Jackalopes. If you're from Wyoming, you know what that is. Mythical creature. It's a jackrabbit with antelope horns. Air Force. Aim high, fly, fight, and win. Men in Arms, Safety in Numbers. Protect the Future. You like the Trump MAGA hat? Okay. That'll make it easy. If you want it. I'm just going to put it right there so I know where it's at. USA, One Nation Under God. I also have a bunch of Trump portraits. USS Constitution Old Ironsides. That one's getting a little bit toned from when I got it, and didn't notice that until now. Abominable Snowman. Some of them, like I said, only have 1 or 2 or so of, and the other ones I have 30 or so. COVID-19 Survivor 2020 Pandemic. I got a couple of those. I've got some duplicates of those. Now I'll stick that in there. Got a Lincoln with wheat on the front, just a mint on the back. A few of those. Got an 1839 seeded. An 1836. I'll resume it for just a minute here. Got a few different ones. I've got a bison front, mint back. I've got an Indian head front with a mint back. And then I do have some that are Indian on the front and buffalo on the other side. Got Walking Liberties. Got quite a few of those. 2 different versions. I have one that's kind of shiny, and the other one is more of like a proof look. See, there's the one with the buffalo and Indian on both. Got lots of those too. I have a few Liberty front dime. Actually, I have one of those. And the other one I have is Merc dime with mint on the back. And the last of them, got lots of Indian head scent. Got lots of 1907 Indian and that Indian. That one has a 1911 on it. Got lots of those. Lots of those. I have peace dollars, 1921. Got a few of those. Got that one, the seeded ones without date. Can't remember if it's the same design front or not, but. And then I've got the other ones that aren't in there are my Trump portrait and these ones. The one on the sheet that I have is the one that I'm out of, so I've got to switch them out. Alrighty. Hey, Yenabon. Ian Ambon. I got Vincent. There's Jimmy on there. Yep. Okay. I think everybody should have had enough time. So this will be the winner of end of stream. So the EOS winner will be Mark has already won, so we're going to get a new one. Jersey Silver Stacker. Congratulations. So on those, I've got those ones that I showed, plus that one is mostly up to date. There's a few on there that I don't have. And so like number 1 is the front, underneath its back. 2 is the front, underneath its back. The bottom 29 are front and back next to each other. And get the Jersey Devil. I am out of Jersey Devils. That's one that I've got to take off. Is that what, 23 or something? No. I don't know if I had Jersey Devil on that one. But I am out of Jersey Devil, unfortunately. Been trying to get more, but I'm not going to spend $4 a round, plus shipping and taxes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Any Trump coin. I think I've got one kind of Trump coin. The other ones have all been given out. That's Walker. Indian Head. Bitcoin. There's my Trump. That one has a fingerprint on it, so get one without. I always handle them by the edges, so it must have been from whoever packed them. I've got the portrait. It's the only one I got left. With that eagle. Honor, courage, integrity, perseverance on the back. Vigilance. I know I had a few of them, but yeah, they've given all of those ones out. So, if you guys that won would send me an email just telling me which one you won, for example, EOS and Trump, 25 like, and Trump. Guess that's the only ones I had of those. And then your address and name to send it. And I usually get those sent out the next day, but I'm going to wait until Monday stream in case if someone wins the second one. Because then I can send 2 in one envelope. So there you go. It was a kind of, like I said, a little bit of a quick stream. I ended up doing the dimes too, so I added a little bit to it, but 2 for Juan. Yep. I can send 1 in one of these postcards. I tape it on there, and the edges are all sealed up and everything, so after I've done that, I haven't had any stolen after that. And then I also tape up all the edges. And yeah, you're welcome, Kathy. So I can send 1 for $1.52 because it's a non-machinable, which is why you have to use that stamp. And that one's stamped upside down, but oh well. And if you send 2 in one of those, it's only $1.81. So you'll also non-refundable. So $1.52 to $1.81, that's what, 29 cents difference. Plus I only have to use 1 card and envelope, which is however much it cost me. I do keep track of all that because tax stuff, which I've been working on, and it's not Luckily, I have a expense sheet of everything I've bought and everything that I've sold and everything that broken down into what each item costs, such as each of those. But I'm also weird and was doing that before I even thought about tax stuff. I just always do that. So there you go. It 30 likes, so not too bad. Got your email, Jersey, so I'll get that updated for you. So I do have hey, thanks for subscribing, Mo Money. And for subscribing, you get a few points, but I'm going to give you more. So you now have 10,010,000. Yep, you too. I didn't kind of plan on it, but then I was like, yeah, my Broncos lost, so I want to do something to stack silver, gold, and honey. Yes. I've got gold. I've got a little bit of gold. Quite a bit of silver, mostly from coins and some bullion. And then a lot of copper. But considering rounds are going for $4, if you get them in like 100 thing, you can get them for about just under 3 with taxes and everything. Because in Utah, copper is not considered precious metal. It's considered not precious, it's whatever the other one is. But because it's not precious, they tax it. So gold, silver, platinum, palladium, ruthenium, whatever the precious other ones are. There's like 7 platinum group metals. Precious. I only saw the first movie on that. That's the only one I've seen. Just like Star Wars, I only saw the original 3. I've never seen any of the other ones. So, I'm weird. I know. There you go. Thanks for coming, popping in. I was hoping to get at least 25, and that's what I did. So, you guys are great. Rhodium, yeah. Rhodium was the one I couldn't remember. So, you guys take care. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm streaming at 5:30 Mountain, as usual. And we'll be doing a box for William E. Tuesday and Thursday, or Monday and Thursday. So both nights are his boxes. And then I got BH, then VMC, and then 2 for 74 deeds. So there you go. Thanks for coming, and see you tomorrow.